Okay, so if you've been following AI news today, then you know that Anthropic has launched Fable 5, their new Mythos class model. The kicker is it's available on paid plans until June 22nd, and then it's going to shift into API and usage token pricing, which is pricey, and I'll get to that in a moment. But first, I wanted to ask Fable 5, and as you can see, I've already blown through my usage with Fable 5, doing some designs and seeing what it can do. But let's go over the basics. I'll tell you a little bit about the pricing. There's some updated prompting for it. Try and get through this in about 10 minutes, keep it quick. But yeah, so today, Fable 5, as you can see here, is now available, and you can use high, extra, max, however you want. And like I said, it's available in paid plans until June 22nd, and then it switches to usage credits. And you have to be mindful of that because that will get pricey. So on June 23rd, it will be pulled from paid plans and switched over. And they say they will plan to get that back as soon as possible. I suppose we'll see. So yeah, this is a free trial for paid users, but the cost is pricey. It's double the price of Opus at $10 per million input tokens, $50 per million output tokens. There's nothing in here about cache hits, so it will add up. But this model is supposed to be meant for those long agentic tasks and things like that. So yeah, it is a bit interesting that they're offering it, then removing it. That is different than their previous releases. So I asked, sounds pricey. And yeah, so at $10 and $50 out, I gave it, I used 2.5 billion tokens with DeepSeek last month, and I'll show you that in a second. But yeah, that would cost me about $30,000 to $40,000 per month. Let me pull that up so you can see. So yeah, I am not gassing that up at all. I really did use that many tokens. I use it mainly with Hermes, so it's a lot of input tokens, cron jobs, automations, writing Python scripts to do crawling, competitor analysis. I work in marketing, so I do use it quite a bit every day. And this is why I use DeepSeek, because it is truly that affordable. My cost last month was about $29. And as you can see, 2.5 billion with DeepSeek V4 Flash, 400 million with V4 Pro, and yeah, it really is that pricey. So yeah, it's just about $30,000 to $40,000 per month if I was to use Fable 5 the way I use DeepSeek as my daily driver, which I would never, and I wouldn't even use Opus as my daily driver because that would be thousands of dollars a month. So yeah, it really does get pricey when you go the API route. So yeah, if you're going to use Fable 5 via API, be very mindful of that. But yeah, so Fable 5's positioning, it's a multi-day project, review the output. It's not a high volume pipeline work, so it's not meant to be your daily driver. So again, that pricing is all relative, but I just wanted to show it for comparison, and it was just telling me how I could use it. So I actually had it create me like an image, and I just wanted to see what it did in terms of pricing. And yeah, so as you can see, it really is quite up there in terms of pricing. I even had it create me a little design deck to show some more about the release. So this is Fable 5 in Claude Design. Made me a little slide deck here. So Fable 5 versus the field pricing. Is there a way to make this full screen? I don't know. Whatever. We'll work with it here. So present. Here we go. So cool. We got our little slide deck. So this is pretty much about the press release and what they've told us so far about Fable 5, and so let's get into it. So in terms of pricing, right, we said the $10 in, 50 out, and double the price of Opus 4.8, and way more than DeepSeek, right? And also more expensive than GPT-5. Yeah, so GPT 5.5 Pro actually takes the cake in terms of price out with 180 out, so it's up there. Fable 5 output versus GPT 5.5 output. Yeah, so the Pro model for GPT 5.5 still far and away the most expensive, but yeah, 57 times more than the V4 Pro. Yeah, it's not even close to comparing. But yeah, well, let's keep going here. Claude Fable 5 on the benchmark. It tested the highest out of everything as expected, way above 4.8. On Frontier Code Diamond, Terminal Bench also top of the top, makes sense. Knowledge and Work also above open. This has been advertised as Anthropic as a step up. So Mythos is going to enterprise clients. Fable 5 is the consumer-facing version. We will not get Mythos 5. It has security guards disabled. This has some security guards enabled. And it actually kicks back to Opus 4.8 for some things relating security and, like bio-related stuff. So, we kind of have the watered-down version of it, but so be it. Yeah, and as we can see, we know the pricing is outrageous. API. So this is what you're going to be paying after the 22nd. So yeah, it's up there. Like I said, so some queries get a different model. Let's go back. All right, whatever. We'll stay there. So cybersecurity, biology. You'll get the Opus 4.8. Offline work favors open AI. Okay. GPT 5.5 select pricing has no Fable equivalent. All right. So. And yeah, so you can use it on Claude until June 22nd. And this last bit is just about the cache hits that DeepSeek gives you, which is why it's so price effective. This does not seem to have it. Biggest leads, exactly where work compounds. These are meant for those long agentic, tasks. We can look at the API pricing. The API information in a bit because they talk a little bit how you prompt it. And I think that's the end of this. Okay, cool. So let's jump into how you prompt. So it's going to be a little different. This is really meant for more complicated tasks. Prompting and scaffolding patterns are going to be different than Opus 4.8. So, but yeah, where it improved, the long horizon autonomy, first shot correctness, vision, enterprise workflows, code review and debugging, navigating ambiguity, delegation, collaboration, long returns by default. Consider all efforts levels. So you might want to use different levels of that effort that we went over in the beginning. High for most stuff, extra high, medium low for routine stuff. Strong instruction following, so it follows your instructions very strictly. Ground progress claims during long runs. Along autonomous runs, instruct Claude 5 to audit progress against actual results. So you get feedback as it works. Give it boundaries. It can run parallel subagents. This one's interesting. It can construct a memory system. So basically, it kind of gives itself like an MD file, I guess, as it's working. So it's keeping track of what it's doing in the background. And actually, if we look at the design files, you'll see it created a little scratchpad. I don't know if that's what they're talking about, but I guess you can see a little bit how it designed this deck. So yeah, that could be similar. That's a similar concept to what it's doing when you run long tasks. Does stop early in rare cases. You want to give the reason, not just be like, make me an SVG image or make me an HTML. You want to give it specific tasks. I'm working on this for this. They need this with this specifically in mind. So that's important. These are more kind of coding specific. So there's that. Yeah, so that's kind of Fable 5 in a nutshell. There's one interesting thing though in Notion. I'll show you quickly. So in Notion, I was curious because Fable 5 is here as well in Notion already. So if you use Notion, you can actually. I had to create me like a little HTML widget in here. You can see it going through it, but the important thing is this part. So I asked it, if there's any updates from Notion about how they're going to treat Fable 5 after June 22nd. And really, there wasn't clear answer here. I also had it write me this blog that I'll put on my blog later. Looks pretty straightforward, nothing fancy. I don't think Fable 5 you really need for writing blogs, but I just wanted to see what it would do. But yeah, since Notion is an API customer, basically there's no clear answer as to if Notion will be subsidizing those. They're already paying the API for it, so it's interesting to see if they'll charge extra for you to use Fable 5 after June 23rd, because again, it's part of their subscription in Notion, but they're already paying API for it. So, it seems like based on Notion's own answer that it'll certainly still be here, but in what capacity, don't know. So in Notion, you might get it at no additional cost to your regular subscription, but I don't know yet. We shall see. Certainly don't use it to create any agents. That will cost you a lot of money. But yeah, you can also use it in Notion too. Anyway, that is it for this little Fable 5 drop. If you have Claude, check it out. It's available now. And yeah, give it a try. You're going to burn through your tokens pretty quick. Keep it on that high setting. Don't go to extra like I did here. You go through it quick. But anyway, we have it for 10 days until it comes back in whatever capacity. Check it out in Notion if you have Notion. And if you use the API, be mindful of those costs.